My name is Anthony Curtis. I'm the CEO and founder of the Black Equality Coalition, also the director of the Unstoppable Coaching and Mentoring program that we have. Originally from Chicago, South Side, grew up seeing a lot of dysfunction, a lot of gang violence, drugs, police on the block all the time, shootings. So growing up in a disturbed environment like that, it just became the norm. Then we migrated to Seattle around 2001, 2002. It was way calmer, less violence, but it was still here. I kind of took that behavior from Chicago and brought it over here to Seattle. Took that same mindset, living in Seattle with just my mom and my siblings. We had to do what we had to do to survive. So those were some of the toughest years of my life, just living in the whole completely different environment where I had no family, so had no money, we were struggling, homeless, sold drugs, had to do everything that we had to do to survive. Had to make a life somehow, so I was with all the stuff, the gangs, with all the just reckless behavior, Your environment, man, it kind of shapes and molds you into the person that you become. And when you are in a terrible environment like the one I grew up in, it's very important for you to change your mindset. It's hard for a lot of people to make that adjustment, hard for a lot of young people specifically. When I began to overcome my situation, I was able to look at it from a victor standpoint versus a victim. Once I got out the street, once I gave up that life and I changed my mindset, I started thinking like, okay, let's go ahead and give back. Let's figure out how to right your wrongs. Let's figure out how we can uplift and pour back into, because you did a lot of taking. You caused a lot of problems. You took a lot from people. So it's time to give back. I want to live a life where I'm doing things that I love. There's a gap when it comes to the education system and African American people. You got a school to prison pipeline, homelessness, food insecurities. A lot of those things play a major role in a kid's education. So we come to bridge all of that. The mission is to serve in such a way that we can help people become what it is that they need. Not just give them something, right? Because that can be temporary. But if you help them become, then guess what? They can pay it forward. And I think the only way to successfully execute on that is to make sure you're serving people so they understand the ins and outs of who they are and the abilities that they may have, and so they can see themselves as a victor versus a victim. The mission is to make sure we serve, and predominantly African American families, through community events, through mentoring and coaching, through resources, etc. I know I'm not gonna be able to solve every problem, but let's solve the ones that we can solve. The mentoring and coaching program that we have at Panther Lake Elementary, we measure that impact by sitting and talking with the teachers, evaluating, assessing, figuring out, okay, what was the need when we got here, what systems did we put in place to solve the need, right? And then what was the outcome of that? Us being in tight communication with leadership in the schools, with educators, with the principals, counselors, family liaisons, bridging the gap for each entity to come together and work together on one accord. So we measure our impact by getting messages from the family saying, my son is doing so much better as my child. And then the teacher saying that my student is doing so much better in his or her grades. They're actively learning. Grades is changing, attendance is changing. Families was disconnected, now they're connecting, right? And we're just that connecting bridge. We're actively searching for funding. Getting more support will help us get to the next level. We've done the mentoring program for 2 years for free, successfully. Like the data that I'm giving you, we've been doing this work. And even before then, we was in a community doing cleanups, right? Hosting events, giving out resources, connected haircuts, food. So many different things that we've done for years with no funding. Everybody that make these programs possible are working from the heart, like we all are. From 5 to 10 years from now, I want us to be doing the same exact thing, but on a larger level.